evening and welcome to Of Dice and Them. You're joining us for our second Blades in the Dark session. My name is Tove. I will be your game master for this evening. Allow me to introduce my colleagues here. We have the jewel in the Of Dice and Them crown, Bambi.
Yes! I'm so happy that it's me.
We have the noble scepter held by our monarch. It's Lou.
Ooh, I'm not sure how to feel. Hello.
We have the orb of wisdom, Ralph.
Hello, it's wonderful to be around all of you.
And we have Jack, who is desperately trying to work out what I'm going to call him. We have the throne that supports us all, Jack.
I'm a fucking chair.
We'll sit
chair.
on you.
You got the fucking jewels over here, which, by the way, is alliteration with Jack, which I just expected would be me.
That's right, I'm a rod. Don't worry about it.
I'm a ball.
I'm a chair, you're a rod, he's a ball.
Rod.
He's a fucking jewel over here.
Where last we left our scoundrels, what were we doing? Lou, do you have some kind of a recap that you could deliver to us, or are we throwing that away for the Blades and...
Yeah, Lou, if you could just quickly read out the recap there.
I am pretty sure Bambi said that he was going to do notes for Blades.
That does ring a bell, actually.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, go on.
No, that's right. That was actually a joke.
That was a joke. There's absolutely no way that I did what I said I was going to do.
So my knowledge comes from listening to the podcast when it gets released. So,
If we just
So
wait,
you'll know what's going
6
on
months.
in several months' time.
Ooh. Okay, I opened my D&D folder. There's a little notepad called D&D Notes.
Ooh.
So I opened it and thought,
D&D.
maybe I did it. Yeah, but I didn't change the name. Half Orcs, Screed Alive.
Listener, that's from a campaign we played nearly 2 years ago.
And did not record.
And that's it. That's where the notes finish.
Outstanding.
I mean,
The
if you want
notes
to pick
end
up right
before
now...
the podcast begins.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Okay, I'll tell you what you did last time.
Why don't
shall
we
I?
just leave it to the professional? Ralph, take it away.
Well, the gang decided to infiltrate the home of someone whose name I've unfortunately forgotten.
Tybalt.
And his surname?
Ponsonby,
Yeah!
who was holding a little soiree to show off his new, very fancy security system. So we were tasked with stealing the arcane core to embarrass Ponsonby at this important soiree, which we did. And that was the session.
And then you escaped.
Yeah, Kuza and Gecko snuck in through the staff entrance, got into the security system. There was a daring Mission Impossible
Bypass the
style rope pulley
Could you
system.
tell us more about the cook, Ralph?
The
I was going
cook.
to say, we missed the bucket of hagfish slime. that you
Yeah,
happened
well,
to bring with
that's,
you.
I didn't want to toot my own horn, but I came up with a very clever gambit to sneak
Did
past.
the gambit work?
No.
The gambit still relies on Ralph to roll dice.
It does, yes. Stole the arcane core. That shut all of the power down in the place. There was a security lockdown. Kuza tried to get into the fantasy wiring to open a door to make their escape. Burnt his hand quite badly. Level 2 harm.
And you used the magic of the ghost field to achieve this, and you felt the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Which I think
But
was
I'm
Kuza's
sure that
first
won't be relevant
time
later.
using magic in the Undercity?
I do remember the bit where you
yes.
were like, right, so you should just make a magic roll now. And Ralph was like, ooh.
And I'm glad we can also appreciate the great input from Tay and my character.
Well, I wasn't in those bits, so I wasn't paying attention.
Randall?
Yes! That's right, Randall.
You two had good fun at a party.
Oh, we networked. That's what we
We
did.
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
got
were
us.
chatting to
You
Jenny.
got us our next job. Or
Jenny.
And made a coin.
And
Oh,
made
yes.
a coin betting
You
on
made
me.
coin. You told me off for saying a coin last time. I'm going to tell you off for saying a coin this time.
Well, no. I mean, in the moment, it's silly to say coin because we were role playing. Now we're saying that we want a coin because that is appropriate.
The metric coin increased by 1.
Yes, because
you got one of the currency of this city, which is enormous gold coins.
Yeah, and Randall bet on Tay, which now I'm kind of working through feels like kind of betting on a racehorse a little bit.
Oh yeah,
and the horse came in.
And we won.
So the next step in the Blades in the Dark game is we move into the downtime phase, where things that aren't scores happen.
And this is the bit that you asked us to prepare beforehand.
That will be in the activities phase of the downtime.
Okay.
So you've got time to work that out while Tove's doing a scene.
There.
So, the payoff. We'll imagine we've arrived back at the Shrieking Clam. You enter the run-down tavern, which you don't suspect ever sees any customers. One of you, I think, Gecko, is carrying the arcane core in a magical box of some kind of containment.
Yes, we had a magical containment device.
That's true.
You enter the tavern with this. You see Pakisty the Goblin, who sent you on this score, sitting with her feet up on the table, smoking a cigar, reading a newspaper. And she hops up when she sees you enter and says, "Wow, I didn't expect you forward. I mean, hey, you are alive. Great, come on in. You got the stuff?
Hey, you got the money?
Money? You owe me."
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay, I'm being mean. I do have some money for you, but give me the core. And she starts to sort of like dance a little bit.
But Akossi, could I just ask, what on earth are you going to do with this core once you've got it? I never quite worked that part out.
You didn't work it out because I didn't tell you.
Are you going to tell us that now?
No, give me.
Well, you heard the lady.
Here you go.
Thank you, young lady. And she cracks the containment core open just slightly, and you see this blinding white fluorescent light flood out into the room and makes her pupils expand to maximum. And she snaps it closed again and says, "Yep, that's exactly what I wanted." And she sets it on the table and then reaches into a bag from which she produces
a single large coin.
A purse containing 6 coin.
Oh,
she sets on the table. Now that's to share, so don't get too excited.
Party loot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking party loot. I know all about this fucking exploit.
I think we genuinely do have party loot, though, right?
You do. You each have personal coin, which you are trying to build up a collection of in order to retire on. You also have money that goes to the gang, which you can then use on gang-related things.
Gecko reaches out for her coin and squirrels it.
I imagine you all are keen to go off and spend your hard-earned winnings, but she pulls out a key ring, which has 4 keys on it. It says, "Were you maybe interested in doing this sort of thing again in the future?" And she waggles her eyebrows a little bit.
What's with the keys?
Maybe there's a little quid pro quo here. You express an interest in working with me further?
I'm afraid I've only heard of quid quo pro. What's quid pro quo?
What's quid pro quo? What? Maybe I'll just show you. And she
good podcasting content.
Crosses to the back of the tavern and reaches down below the bar, and you hear the keys jingle, and a hatch behind the bar pops open, which she pulls open further, and she disappears down a set of stairs which are perfectly accessible to a centaur, and it's a very large hatch.
It's a secret tunnel. There's a secret tunnel behind the bar. Coos is in there.
Down this secret passageway leads to a converted wine cellar beneath the tavern, which you would see is decked out to be, would say perhaps a beginner's hideout for a burgeoning gang of scoundrels. There are sort of areas where you can catch some rest. There is a war table of some sort in the middle, which has a map of the city pinned to it, perhaps with a large dagger. There's food supplies down here. Everything a gang could possibly need to operate within the Undercity. And she turns to you all and says, you want to keep working for me? Maybe you can operate out of here. My last gang of scoundrels, this place is open for business if you want to work.
Which bed is the nicest?
There are 2 sets of bunk beds currently. They all look pretty shitty.
Gecko scrambles up to a top bunk and then sort of stares at everyone like, yeah, you just try and take this off her.
Pakisty tosses one of the keys to Gecko, taking that as a, yes, I'm in.
Well, it's certainly drier than the gutter, so...
Yeah, most days, it's the dry season.
I'll stay.
Tosses you a key.
Hang on, sorry. You've just casually slipped in a bit of world building there. Sorry, the dry season over Saren. just to make sure we document that, because there will be people later on. I'll be like, "Oh, Saren's really wet," and they'll be like, "Man, what about when Tove said there was a dry season?"
Well, then obviously, if there's a dry season, there's a wet season. Fuck off, pedants.
Checkmate.
And she looks expectantly at Kuza and Tay.
Kuza swings up into the other top bunk.
She tosses you a key.
I've got nothing better to do.
Oh, don't talk yourself down like that. I'm sure you've got plenty of stuff going on.
No, pretty much just this.
Oh my.
Tay just holds out a hand.
And Pakisty gives you the last key.
It would have been so much better, Ralph, if you hadn't
to leave the top bunk for Tay.
Yeah, exactly. If you and Randall would have taken the 2 bunks.
I was going to go for the top bunk, but I didn't want to make it all about Tay being essential.
Oh, you actually sleep in a bed? I thought that you just have like a pile of hay in the corner.
I thought you slept standing up.
Let me get one thing straight there, Randall. I think it was during this heist of ours that you bet on me like a common horse, and now you're asking me if I sleep in hay. I do not, sir. I sleep in a bed with much finery.
And did you win?
Well, on that occasion I did happen to win.
And did we make a coin?
We did make one of the city's large coins, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that your logic was flawed. I'm just saying it's rather mean.
Well, you weren't racing. You were fighting.
It's true. I was fighting, which is what I do best.
All right, rich boy, never been to a horse fighting ring.
Oh, they are endemic in the Undercity. They are the dirtiest of the dirt.
Horse fighting? What do they do?
They fucking fight, mate. What do you think they do?
Okay, yeah, but Bambi did a fucking giraffe fighting kind of whipping neck motion.
I'm sure it's the same thing. Maybe a little bit of a kick.
Now, before I leave you to enjoy your hard-earned winnings, there is one little bit of discussion we need to agree on. Normally, at this point, we would be talking about the rep gains for the gang. However, one of the conditions of gaining rep is that someone knows you did the score.
Ooh.
No one knows you are responsible for stealing the arcane core except for Jenny the Egg, who may have a suspicion at this point.
So you're saying we need a calling card?
That would be a great resolution to the question I was about to ask, which was, do you want rep for that score? In which case, we can say that maybe Pakisty sort of starts putting feelers out for dropping some hints, or one of you start dropping some hints, or we say that Jenny starts circulating that there's some new kids on the block.
We definitely didn't go into it thinking this is how we're going to make a name. We went into it thinking we're going to steal this core and get some cash. The only other thing I can think of is that Randall obviously made a big deal about going in there, and I was obviously quite front and center doing the thing. But again, nobody knows that we stole it, do they? So
yeah, we've got an end objective, which is to start a war, which is not necessarily helped by. Yeah.
That was what Pakisty sent you to steal the arcane core for. You don't yet know if a war has been started over the embarrassment of the Ponsonby Manor.
Ah.
But that objective, I assume, is going to take a couple of jobs, and it's not helped by someone knowing that it's the same gang doing all these things. In fact, it might be hurt by us gaining rep.
I agree. I'd keep a low profile.
Happy with that?
Okay, we'll not gain any rep for that one. That's fine. We're going to move on down the rule book.
Which we definitely all know.
Which everyone has definitely
Everyone's read it. We know how to play this game.
Next is heat, which would increase based on attention you gain from the millets and the blue cloaks, the police of the city. I would say the score was both smooth and quiet and with low exposure, so I don't think you're going to be gaining any heat that hasn't already been gained through other ways.
Yeah, it didn't seem very smooth at some points, but at others it's definitely ended up that way.
It would be purely coincidental that we were Randall and Tay
I don't
were there at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think it made
they
any
were
sense
front
to
and
get
centre.
heat.
Like, yeah.
The rules do say to add 1 heat for a high-profile or well-connected target and add 1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf, which those two things are true.
It did happen, yeah. Because heat doesn't necessarily represent, like, I would assume, having not read the rulebook. This is just purely me just riffing. What about if it's just like they're looking for someone who did it? So that like puts the...
Yeah, I mean,
any scoundrels in the Undercity are now going to be facing a little bit of heat.
For example, if a blue cloak went to the chef and said, "Did you see anything weird?" Yes, I did. A guy came in with a hagfish.
Plus
not
1
just
heat
any
for
guy,
hagfish.
a fucking bear.
A bear came in with...
I'm not a bear!
So next in the downtime phase, we move into entanglements. And this is a roll we make just to see what happens while you're out and about between scores.
Okay.
Let's just say we want to avoid any imperial entanglements.
So entanglements is a table which we roll on. The number of dice we roll with is equal to your heat level, and higher numbers is worse. So we are going.
So shall I roll on this one?
So wait, hang on. we just fucking created a new heat level.
Yeah, from the score that we did.
You are on the lowest table, which is heat 0 to 3. So if that makes you feel any better.
Not really.
I'm going to be rolling 2 dice. Getting a 5, which is rivals or unquiet dead.
Did we kill anyone?
You killed a robot. Does robots have ghosts?
That's... Okay, Tove, I need an answer right now. Do robots have ghosts? Yes or no?
That one didn't.
Oh!
Nice.
Very good. Very good game master
Well played.
answer.
Well played.
There is specifically a thing in Blades in the Dark called a hull, which is if one of you were to die and become a ghost, you could then embark on a project to become a hull, which involves putting your ghost in a robot.
The worst fate a ghost can suffer, to go to Hull.
So I'm looking at Unquiet Dead, and I'm thinking, Kuza, you start to feel that prickling at the back of your neck that you felt when you reached into the ghost field in the basement of Ponsonby Manor. You perhaps are all at this stage settling in to the new lair that you have found yourselves in. Kuzi, you're perhaps sat at the war table, and you look over and you see a shadowy figure sitting at the table with you. Seems to be a human male. He's partially translucent with a blue cloak over one shoulder, and he's sort of smiling at you happily.
Here, Pacosti.
Yeah?
That the sort of thing that happens down here a lot, or,
What sort of thing?
him, the, over there.
She seems to look through him to the wall behind and says, You feeling okay, my furry friend?
Oh, fuck.
She sort of gives you a bit of a look and returns to reading whatever it is she's reading.
The Blaze in the Dark rulebook.
The description of Unquiet Dead as an entanglement is a rogue spirit is drawn to you. Perhaps it's a past victim or something else. acquire the services of a whisper or railjack to attempt to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself.
Great.
Sounds like a Ralph problem.
But it doesn't appear to be especially hostile at the moment.
Just sort of a mild, not like a creepy smile, right? Just like a mild hello. I'm
A little
the
bit,
spirit.
yeah.
I'm here.
Could you do that smile for us, Steph?
Oh, well, you see, the listeners wouldn't benefit from me doing that.
But
I would.
Listener, please refer to their reactions to understand the type of smile I gave.
That is quite a cute, contented smile that I didn't think.
I wouldn't want to get rid of it.
It seems like a friendly fellow. Right. Yeah. What's your name? What is? I'm sorry. I'm not. This is unfamiliar territory for me.
He doesn't seem to register what you say to him particularly. You get he definitely doesn't seem entirely sort of sentient's the wrong word, but his personality doesn't seem to be entirely formed.
Loosely tethered.
Yeah, loosely tethered.
Do we see Kuza talking to an empty chair?
You do.
Gecko's just gonna stare at the chair and just try and see it. She's just gonna just
Like a cat.
yeah, like look away and like swift her head back again, see if it comes back.
Slightly squint,
Slightly
or like
squint,
look
yeah.
through your hands.
Yeah,
So you're attempting to see the ghost that you suspect Kuza's seeing.
yeah.
Would you like to roll an attune action roll?
Okay.
Sounds magical.
I have nothing in a tune, so I'm going to roll
So
two
you
dice
roll
and take the
two
lowest
dice
one.
and take the lowest. Yes.
That's unfortunate. Because I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Oh.
So, Gecko, you don't perceive anything in the chair. Kuza, you see the ghost sort of twinge his neck backwards a little bit, and his form starts to flicker in and out. And during these flickers, you see him more of the persona of a murder victim. You can see his skin looks like it's started to rot away. You see a deep wound down his face that looks like it might have been an axe wound that cut all the way to his internal organs. And that sort of stays with you for a few moments, and then he just manages to flicker back to his usual mildly smiling persona.
What did you do, Lou?
I just sort of hold a hand out, like just stop to Gecko and say, "Yeah, I don't think you like that."
And the next part of downtime is activities. So this is where we look into things like indulging your vice, and I have asked you all to think about what activity you would like to do. You each get 2. Who would like to go first? If you're happy just leaving the ghost story to hang over us for a while.
The ghost has not proven itself to be a problem yet. I imagine this might change.
Well, part of the activities could be you acquiring an asset which would help you get rid of it, or embarking on a long-term project to find out what his deal is, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I know what my downtime activity is going to be, and one of them is vaguely appropriate. Should I say what both of them are going to be, or just do the first one?
Yeah, let's start with the first one.
Okay, right, fine. In that case, I was going to indulge my vice.
So, on indulging vices, because none of you are traumatized yet, none of you have any points of trauma, you can, at this stage, safely ignore your vice without getting punished.
And before Randall just indulges his vice twice.
I have no stress.
You
So
are going to
you will
immediately
be.
overindulge.
And when you indulge vice, you roll your lowest attribute, and you lose stress equal
Equal to what you rolled.
Yeah.
And if you go below 0, you overindulge,
overindulge.
and a bad thing happens.
That is all correct. So, could you remind us what your indulging of vices entails for Gecko, and what you are doing to indulge it this time?
So my vice is luxury. Gecko, as somebody who has never had anything for herself, really. She's never had a permanent home. She's never really owned anything apart from the clothes on her back. So she kind of occasionally, to kind of make herself feel a little bit better, self-soothe and indulge vice, kind of pretends, I guess, to have something or do something, whatever else. So this can range from finding something in the street that she pretends is hers for a bit, like, you know, if someone's left a coat in a bar, she might kind of walk around wearing it for a little bit. Or right up until kind of sneaking into people's back gardens and swimming in their pool, or
I remember Gecko once broke into someone's house to have a bath.
Have a bath, yeah. Or sleep in their bed if they're away, or like, you know, something like that, just so that she can kind of...
Gecko's weird, man.
Gecko is weird.
So, yeah, that's what she does.
So what form does it take in this instance?
Well, she's not, like, highly stressed at the moment, so I think maybe... Are there any houses nearby that are clearly unoccupied? I don't think she'd go for a high risk one at this point unless she's like super stressed. Either currently unoccupied, or people are family that's away on holiday or something like that, or out for the evening, or even out for the evening.
Yeah, I reckon you're currently in the area of Ravenswing, which is a sort of contested area within the criminal underworld of the Undercity. It's not especially wealthy, but it's not especially squalid either, so you might be able to find a merchant's house, which perhaps is unoccupied of an evening when they've scraped together enough coin to head out to Northminster and see a theatre production, perhaps.
All right, so she's not going to go mental. Maybe maybe someone's left a window open to a study, and she's gonna go and curl up in an armchair for a couple of hours, and with a nice soft looking blanket or something, and have a little.
Give me that vice roll. What is your lowest quality?
It is resolve.
You have absolutely nothing in it.
Yes. Right. So.
You rolled 2 dice.
Oh no.
Take lowest.
Yep.
Oh,
I did say.
I know, and I thought, with 2 dice, I mean, yeah, I've just demonstrated, I just rolled resolve and got a 6 and a 1. I thought I'm bound to get less than a 3 on one of my dice.
And you got a...
6 and a 5.
I've got good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Good news is, you clear your stress.
Yeah.
Bad news is, someone came home.
I think that's got to be it, because the options are you attract trouble, which is rolling an additional engagement. You brag about your exploits, gaining +2 heat, which is not
Gecko doesn't
usually
feel
appropriate.
like a bragger.
No. You could get lost, and your character vanishes for a few weeks, and you play a different character until this one returns from their bender.
Oh, please make her do that just on the spot, right, Lou? Just play a different
just
character.
Make a new character immediately.
Or you are tapped, and your current purveyor cuts you off, and you have to find a new source for your vice.
So I suspected that, well, I knew there was a chance of this happening. And so my second downtown activity I thought could possibly link to this.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes it.
Deal with the consequences of my first downtime activity.
No. Shall I just explain? So, and I thought this might be a reason why things go poorly. For my second one, I was going to train. And I was going to train in a tune, because I saw the sort of weird effect things had on Kuza, and also, as we've said, she's a bit weird. I thought that she might be a little bit interested in all of the weird ghost stuff that's happening. So maybe if I've crept into someone's study, maybe there was a book around on ghosts or something like that, and then either I've taken it and someone's noticed it's missing, or I've kind of got lost in it a little bit and stayed a bit longer than I was supposed to.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think the trouble you could attract reading a book about ghosts could be a ghost.
Should we roll on the entanglements table and let that sort of inform what trouble staying to read the book caused.
I think that could be a good option, and then there's a chance we don't just do ghost twice in a row.
Yeah, because Ghost is kind of Kuza's thing, you know?
Ghosts are sort of my thing. I'm kind of the ghost guy in the group.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I decided that I was going to make knowing a little bit about a ghost my thing, and then you immediately got a ghost, I was like, fuck's sake.
It's okay, you can now befriend my ghost while I
And then we can
neglect.
talk about you behind your back.
So highest is a 4, which puts us with rivals or unquiet dead.
Fucking Ghost again.
Another creepy kid sneaks in.
Rivals here can be a neutral faction. It could be that you have broken into the house of someone connected to another gang.
Nice. I like that.
Without really realising it.
Yeah, I mean, you just didn't know that this merchant happens to be close personal friends with one of the... Do we want a new gang or one of the ones we've already met?
I'd love a new gang right now, please.
Okay, so you have been scribbled away in the study upstairs. You hear the front door open and your heart drops. You rush to the banister that overlooks the hallway leading to the front door, and you see a wealthy-looking gentleman enter the room. You spot him as he's probably the merchant who owns this place. Following him is a woman in what we would recognise as a nun's habit, and you realise that she is one of the Forger sisters. She is a member of a gang in the Undercity who is attempting to create a new forged god, is their stated goal.
Uh-huh.
And you think, shit, I don't know enough about them to know whether she will blow my head up for being in here, because you know that they are a weird gang.
Cool.
Mechanically, we're looking at them threatening you, a friend, a contact, or one of your vice purveyors, and you must forfeit 1 rep or 1 coin, or stand up to them and lose 1 status with them. Because you don't really have any rep, you have very much coin, do we want to look at potentially losing some status with the Forge Sisters?
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. We've sort of upset them.
So presumably that would take us from like neutral or unknown to them not liking us a bit.
Yeah. But choice is yours, Lou, if we want to... We'll perhaps say that she is looking around. You think perhaps she's sensed something is off in the house, and you're working out how to deal with her.
Yeah, I mean, Gecko definitely wouldn't stick around to try and lie about why she's there or anything like that, because that is not her strong suit. She is going to be cutting and running as fast as she can.
So if you perhaps leap over the banister and dart between them, and you escape without having to make a roll or anything, but she gets a good look at your face.
That seems fair.
And that'll be where the status change comes from. Okay, so this is the first gang you've pissed off. The Forger Sisters, yay!
Great, the ones who are trying to make a new god. They seem like good ones to piss off.
Yeah.
The camera pans out, moves to a different part of the city. We see what another of our scoundrels is up to in their downtime. And we maybe, perhaps Tay? What are you up to?
So, I mean, I think it's interesting. So, Tay was definitely planning to do some training.
Mm-hmm.
That's very much what I wanted to do.
I'd encourage that, because that doesn't require me to come up with any more fucking things that are going to happen.
Yeah, so I think Tay is she's quite a fastidious person, and she's someone that likes, we talked about this before in the opening, where it was this grimy place, but actually she looked pretty well put together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's going to spend some time by training. I think really what she's going to do is she's going to spend some time just basically tidying, cleaning, sorting out, maybe like putting some stuff together. And maybe that's, I don't know what that would go in. Maybe that randomly goes in insight into Tinker or something, maybe?
You would pick a attribute or playbook advancement to train specifically. So we could perhaps say you are training by moving boxes around.
Yeah, she tidies everything away, and then she hits them weights, bro.
Cool, so I think that is a mark in prowess in that case. You can mark 1 XP. Randall Akuza, what are you up to?
I could do Randall. I've worked something out. So I think that Randall is going to embark on a long-term project.
Ooh.
Of course he is.
Uh,
He's also going to make a god.
He's going to make a counter god to fight the enemies that we make. No, no. I think that he's going to use his contact with Jenny's girls, to try and just gain her trust. Basically, I think that makes sense.
Cool, that sounds good to me. I believe with the long-term project we will start a progress clock, which I think we've talked about before, so I won't explain in too much detail. I'm going to say it is a 12-step clock to gain Jenny's favour, and you now roll one of your actions to start making progress on it, basically.
Consort.
Cool. So, yeah, give me a rundown of how you're consorting. Are you just sort of starting at the bottom? Are you going straight to Jenny?
I'm trying to think of a nice. Could you just give me a quick refresher on who Jenny's girls are?
So their primary business is in pleasure houses. They also do narcotics.
Oh,
excellent.
Relevant.
So I think that what Randall would do is,
drink them out of house and home.
So I don't think that he would necessarily just buy them from like a shop front or something like this. I think he'd be more with the sort of supplier side of things, to feed his habit. I think that he's, a little bit savvy economically. Mm-hmm. So he would have cut out the middleman and go straight to the supplier, who would presumably be higher up in the rungs and like closer to Jenny, let's say. So,
yep, I've got the perfect guy in mind. I think you have a chat with Jenny and she directs you to her second-in-command, Lorenzo, who Gecko knows. I think that was one of your friends from back when you were in Jenny's Girls. So do you want to roll a consort action roll? You can't fail. It just depends on how many segments get marked off on your clock.
So it's 2 dice.
Yep, you got 2 points in consort.
Hey, 3.
People get low numbers when they want high numbers, and people that want high numbers get low numbers. Of dice and them.
Whatever number you want, we haven't got it.
So 3 is 1 segment, because it's technically a failure.
Okay.
So either you just rub Lorenzo the wrong way, or all you do at this stage is sort of make yourself known to him.
Yeah, so I feel like what would probably have happened is Randall went with all of the intentions of being professional and forwarding the gang's interests, but then the moment he remembered that he was a drug supplier, that all went out of the window.
Hey Randall, did you further our connection with Jenny?
Who? But I had a great time with Lorenzo. Fantastic product that man carries. Absolutely, just truly delicious. Yes.
Very Moorish.
Yes, very very Moorish. If you guys want it, then just let me know.
Just a little smattering of crack.
Yeah, and I think the other action would be to reduce heat.
Cool, we'll come back to that in a second after...
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah, let's try and take all your actions at once. What's Kuza up to?
Kuza is uncomfortably flexing his burnt hand and would like to do something about that. Now, from my reading of the rulebook, I would need to acquire an asset to get a healer. Is that correct?
That's looking like the way to go, unless you want to have a go at healing it yourself, I think.
That feels like it might not be the best idea, because I don't think I'd be good at anything to do with that.
Shall we acquire an asset first, then, and then
yes,
go to recover?
I'm looking for a back alley vet, basically. Yeah, an alchemist or something of that nature, because I know that realistically we're not going to get, like, a good...
Well, actually, the roll you make will help determine how good an asset you get. Unfortunately, you roll based on your crew's tier, which is 0. So
Would
two
that be
dice,
2
take
and
the
take the
lowest.
lowest by
Yep.
any chance? My lowest is 1, obviously.
I think you do get a back alley vet
Yay!
because the
a
asset's
bear.
tier is -1.
We get a butcher. He knows about anatomy.
We prefer to be called surgeons.
So I could set a minimum quality that you have to hit to acquire an asset, but I think it's funnier if you just get the worst doctor in the city.
Yeah,
Great.
I think that's funny.
Well, of course it's the worst doctor in the city. Why else would they be here?
Let me open my book of NPCs. Hang on.
Doctor parentheses bad.
I could say it's the chef you met in the Ponsonby house.
Oh yes!
So you put your feelers out.
You got more hagfish for me?
You hear that there is someone who knows a little bit about healing. When you finally set up a meet, you go and see her. It is Meg Leakfield, the Dragonborn chef who you duped in the basement of Ponsonby Manor. And she says, "Oh, I didn't expect to see you again."
Oh, yeah, from the soiree, right? Yeah.
Yeah, what a mess that was. I didn't see you after the shutters came down.
No, it was, it's very dark. It was, chaos.
Did Dragonborn have night vision?
No.
Okay, yeah. Let that one slide then. Yeah, I could not see a thing. That's probably why I could see you. You needed a healer, I heard?
In the confusion, I injured my hand.
She takes a look at your hand, and it is plainly an electrical burn. And if she was any good at being a healer, she might be able to deduce that it came from tampering with the ghost
Great.
field. But she is not any good at being a healer.
That's really good that you've got such a bad healer that they can't.
Yeah.
tell that you're full of
I've
shit.
really
You've
aced
really
this
hit
one.
the jackpot with this awful healer.
And she looks at your hand and says, "Yeah, that's a burn." And she pulls out a leather bag, slaps it on the
A
table,
cleaver.
and she pulls from the bag a cleaver.
Yes! Oh my god. If you're a fucking amputee after this, I'm going to be so happy.
And we cut to Gecko. What was your second activity, Gecko?
I mean, I think I mentioned it in my first go round. I'm going to train. My weird little girl's gonna read about all of the weird ghost shit that's going on.
Cool. So you can just mark XP in Resolve.
Okay.
Okay, who's next? Who was after
Me.
Gecko? Be Tay. What's your
Me.
second activity?
Well, yeah. I feel like it's probably Tay doesn't really fancy the heat. So I think Tay's going to go out and work a little bit as a normal upstanding citizen, sort of, bouncer for the bars and things that she was doing previously. And I think she sort of says, that talks about the gang that she's a part of, and that's, this is just what we do, Oh, I'm just a passerby, a mere upstanding citizen of the Undercity, going about my way and making my own way perfectly legitimately and above the law at all times. And, just being clear to be seen around the place, creating some alibis, all of
So
that.
she
jazz.
couldn't possibly be involved in anything bad.
That untoward, no. Tay? Oh, no, I know Tay. She's lovely. She's got that, one album.
So which action roll would you like to roll to do that?
Ooh, interesting.
So the examples in the book are consorting with a friend who's a bluecoat, arranging for some reports to disappear, or maybe commanding the fear of local citizens. They're afraid to snitch. But what you described is a bit more swayy.
What Jack didn't mention is that Tay was flexing the whole time
Yeah.
she was doing that. So she was
Tay's
doing it in a
always
very
flexing.
strong sort of...
After she said these things, she then punched them in the face so that they'll remember.
It does kind of sound like Sway, doesn't it? I'm happy with Sway. I've got 1 dice in that. 1 dice in them.
Oh. There's always one per
5.
episode.
Yeah, you reduce heat by 5.
By 5?
No, read that wrong. Sorry. Reduce heat by 2.
Oh, that's great. We've only got 2 of them.
The heat is gone. The heat is off.
The
Heat is gone. That's good. That would sound great.
How am I the only one who doesn't know what that song is?
Yeah, I didn't either. I was
Okay.
like, what? Everyone started singing, except us.
Wonderful. We now pan back to the operating room, which contains Meg Leakfield and Kuza, who you do currently have both your hands.
Oh.
Boo. Coward.
What was your second action going to be? It's going to be recover?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, when you recover, you seek treatment and heal your harm. Recovery works like a long-term project. Your healer rolls... Oh dear. Your healer rolls for it. And then you mark a number of segments on your healing clock, which is on your character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
What was Meg's tier? Was it -1?
I mean, I rolled a 1, so
yeah,
I assume
-1.
it's basically as bad as it can
I don't
get.
know what -1 dice looks like.
Roll 2 dice and take the lower, right?
That would be 0.
3 dice take the lowest.
Yeah, okay.
3
let's do
dice
3
take the
dice
lowest,
take the
then.
lowest.
Is
There's
the
a-
ghost... Did the ghost follow me?
Yes, he's looking over your shoulder and sort of looking at you with an expression of, ooh.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Please mark 1 segment on your healing clock.
I suspected that might be the outcome.
How big is the healing clock?
4.
And that moves everything down a tier.
Yes. So you are quite a long way off not having some kind of harm.
I think, frankly, it was so mean of Tove to give you a level 2 harm in the first mission. Considering...
But it was also quite mean of me to roll all those 1s.
True. Would you like to know, Ralph, how much stress and harm Tay has?
I bet I can make an educated guess. 0 in both?
0 in both. Everything went fine.
Do you want to know? So I've got 5 stress and level 2 harm.
Randall?
Same, yeah.
Yeah, 0.
We weren't really in any
Cool.
danger.
Well, tell you what, next time, you two fucking sneak through the ducts.
I fought someone. I just fought them well.
Why would we sneak through the ducts when we can walk through the front door?
Yeah. Maybe next time you should just come with us.
Having read a little bit more of the recover rules, it would actually have been better if you just tried to heal yourself.
Incredible.
So you can also choose to simply tough it out and attempt to heal without any treatment. In that case, take 1 stress and roll 0 dice. But Meg has, to her credit, sprinkled some flour on your wound and wrapped a bandage around it.
Great.
You got a yeast infection there.
So just to check, next to level 2 harm, it does say -1d. Is that just on things where the hand would be,
or everything?
where that
I
thing
think
would
it's
be
on
an
everything.
issue, or is
I
it
think
on
it's
everything?
I think it's on everything.
I think it probably means everything, but I think if we can't justify your hand affecting the thing you're trying to do...
I love how gleeful Jack is about bad things happening to other players, despite the fact
Not
that
other
he's
players.
just
Not other players.
Oh, sorry. Is it just Ralph?
Just Ralph. Because Ralph is he's like Eeyore, you just keep slapping him, he's already down.
Yeah, apparently when Jack is being GM'd by someone else, he turns into Salacious Crumb.
Well, in the 300 pages of this rulebook, easily half of it is about bad things that happen to you. So we're getting our money's worth out of this book.
Half of it's about bad things that happen to Ralph? Wow.
Oh, yes, every page I've scribbled Ralph on in pencil.
So, great. Cool. Great.
Listen, Ralph, what's important is it's not about you having fun, it's about the listeners having fun.
What a good game.
The thing is, though, you did progress the thing you wanted to.
Yeah.
That's true. By getting someone worse than doing it myself.
Yeah, but...
Was it worse than doing it yourself, though? Because then you would have also been rolling.
Yeah, to be fair, that was a 3, so I assume that's the same result.
Yeah, and you would have taken 1 stress.
You rolled higher than me on 2 rolls. I was rolling what my character's supposed to be good at, so...
I've only rolled 1 dice and I succeeded. This is an easy game. Come on, let's go.
I've only rolled well on something I wanted to roll low on.
Well, maybe Meg will be better at healing next time you talk to her. if you ever talk to her again.
And not avoid eye contact whenever you walk into a room that you're in together.
Yeah. If you ever, fancy going back to that chef that put some flour on your burn. Because if there's one thing I know about medicine, it's definitely you need to dry out burns. You definitely don't need to keep them wet or anything. You should definitely just dry them out with preferably a gluten. Just a really good starch, a dry starch. That's what good burns need.
That has been our downtime between two scores. Now it is uptime.
Yeah, I'm really bored being caught out in the act of relaxing and setting a powerful gang on us. So let's go for something stressful now, because I'm so bored of all this relaxing.
Could we be known as the Uptime Gang? Because that's pretty cool.
Uptime Gang is quite good.
What's our gang name at the moment?
Uptime Gang, don't give it to you.
She's been living with those downtown girls.
Our current name is the Larry Shadows.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll be any objections to changing to the Uptime Gang.
We're not very Larry.
It's at least as good as the Grave Putter in us.
So, one by one, you crawl back to your lair, having realised that you've run out of pocket change and in need of more work. You use your keys to access the secret entrance and find your way down into the underground room beneath the tavern. There you meet Pakisty, your patron, who, between sessions, has laid out a number of different possible scores for you to go on, and we are going to skip you reading that very long list and deciding which one you want to go for.
So, Pakisty, why don't you tell us something about these jobs you've laid out for us?
Well, I won't go through all of them, because that would be tedious to listen to, as I've already described each one in detail to you, and you've decided to choose one. The one you have chosen is, you are going to interrupt a smash and grab that the thugs are going to run against the Regency. They were not happy to be locked inside that manor you sabotaged, so they're trying to get back at them, which is just what I want. I need you to go to the jewellery store they're about to rob, and rob it before they can. And she pulls out... Oh, she doesn't pull out a map of the city. There is a map of the city on your war table already. And she shows you where the jewellery store is. It's in Northminster. It is on Regency turf.
So hang on. So the thugs
Yep.
are going to steal from this jeweller.
They are planning a smash and grab on the jeweller. They are going to go in loud and show that it was the thugs robbing from the Regency.
To get a bit of clout.
To sort of bloody the nose of the Regency a bit. Yeah, a bit of clout.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I guess we could go in and steal some stuff, and then it would get mixed up within everything else and just overshadowed by the thugs.
You get the bonus of the takings from the jewellery store, and it makes the thugs look like idiots that they've tried to rob an empty store, and the Regency lose out on income from said store.
So we want the thugs to look like idiots robbing an empty store rather than the thugs stealing from the store but not getting that much. We get the majority of it, and it still looks like the thugs are on the offensive. Do you feel me?
And possibly, as far as the Regency is concerned, the thugs still stole everything, right? Depending on how much they know. The thugs broke in, stuff was stolen.
Those are separate things.
This could be another opportunity to not get any rep.
Yeah, we just hate rep. Okay.
So we need to choose a plan between assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport, and then the detail. But we may gather information first, if you so wish.
I think that's probably wise.
I've got a feature that I'd quite like to use, and I wonder if now's the time to whip it out. Which is that my hand is very badly burned.
I'm very badly burned.
Now, I've got the... this is probably way more interesting if I do it in character. So I'm thinking, if this is a shop, right, it's open during the day for customers. If one of us could get in and stay in past closing, hide somewhere, we could open the door from the inside for the rest of the crew.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Where exactly would we be able to find such a small, stealthy creature that might be so predisposed to such an activity? Where might we find such a stealthy strength? That's not.
You mean someone whose strength is stealth?
That's the words. Oh,
or
I got so
or
tied
someone-
up in not being able to do this accent that I forgot also how to do words.
Or someone who was, for example, very good at hiding in a prepared position and using camouflage, for example.
No, I don't think that's as good. I think we should go with the small person hiding away. Well, see, one of the things I was thinking of in the first instance when they mentioned such a thing was perhaps I could be posed as a guard of such establishments. You know, that they jewelers and things in the area hire such people all the time to put away, or maybe one of the nearby establishments, so I could be there in an official capacity to help with the undergoings and such what.
Seems like if you're employed as a guard, though, and then it gets robbed, it makes you look like shit, and no one will want you as a guard again.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I do think that maybe being a guard of a nearby establishment is a better idea, to be involved and around, but have a stable alibi as to why. Maybe I can go and... Is that another horse pun from you, Sir Kuza?
You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon... The question is, I guess, I wonder how much time we've got if the thugs are planning something. We're on a timescale. Did
Yeah, 2 extra little bits of information I may not have mentioned. The jewellery store is not only on Regency turf, it is paying protection money to the Regency. So if you were going to pass yourself off as a guard, you would have to pass yourself off as a member of the Regency.
Yeah, they'll probably hire me anyway. I'm pretty good.
You'll only be very good for a little bit if you get robbed.
It's true.
And I imagined the smash and grab is probably planned for during the day to make as much noise as possible.
Bigger than that
Yes.
before.
Yeah, either we rob it the night before, but then when they open up in the morning, they'll notice everything's been robbed. As it's more difficult, but I feel like we need to do it almost simultaneously. I mean, if we just do it the night before, it's just a heist, isn't it? Whereas what we're trying to do is really interrupt their smash and grab. Still make it look like they were the ones that stole it. Right?
Yeah, them doing it during the day it really complicates things, eh?
So what we're aiming to get is just the first word of the plan. So stealth or deception, I think, are the 2 that we're moving towards. And then from there, we'll decide the detail that kicks everything off.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be stealth, right?
I was leaning more towards deception.
Okay.
Deception, I think, would lend itself to the guard plan.
Yeah, or Randall can go in and act like he's going to buy the place or buy loads of jewelry. So we're all just there whilst they do the smash and grab, but we've already nicked most of the main bit or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about if we go with stealth at night, but we replace all of the jewellery
With cabbages.
with elaborate,
Spun
worthless
sugar.
fakes?
I know a chef.
Yes, sugar jewellery. We replace it all with sugar jewellery.
I'm in. I'm sold.
So we're going stealth, we're going the night before.
Yeah.
The point of infiltration. How do we want to establish that?
I think
Kuza's
the
plan
hiding,
is a good plan.
going in during the day, hiding somewhere.
Okay.
And then can let us
And
everyone
then
else in the front
popping out
door.
at night.
Yeah, Gecko can do that, and then obviously Kuza's got to go and see his chef friend again. And hope that they're a better chef than they are a surgeon.
Be hard for them to be worse.
We have stealth, and the point of infiltration is someone staying there until after closing.
Yeah.
And we don't want to gather any information about the store before we kick off.
I want to find out how it gets locked up.
In terms of gather information, it makes most sense for Randall, I think, to walk in and then case the joint. What's valuable, what we need replicas of.
Mm-hmm.
That suits me.
I was thinking more about doing like a casing the joint of the security protocol and stuff. by being a guard somewhere nearby for a bit or something.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good to know how it's like. Is it just lock and key locked? Is it magically locked? Is it electric locked? Is there CCTV?
Well, if it's electric, we know we've got someone that can disarm electricity really well.
He's got practice at it. Okay, so gathering information. Who would like to ask a question?
Yeah, I think I would like to ask about what their normal security procedures are in terms of locking up, when they close, who does it, are there guards, that sort of thing. And I would do that by being nearby and surveying the joint.
Okay, so roll me a survey.
6.
Ooh, great, exceptional details. So you are able to note down exactly when Regency goons stop by the store during the day.
Nice.
We'll leave that deliberately vague. You know when that is.
Yep.
You also note that in the evenings, the gnomish shopkeep seems to turn the gas or electric lights off within the store and then comes outside, pulls down shutters over the large glass window outside, goes inside the door, locks it, closes shutters, and then vanishes into the back of the shop.
Okay, cool. I share all of that with everyone, obviously.
No, you keep that particular little tidbit to yourself.
Killed the gnome. Yeah.
Any other questions?
What's valuable in the store? What are the most valuable items? So I would just go in and ask, basically.
Ooh, so that'll be, probably a consort?
Yeah. Are you serious? It's literally the same 2 numbers as last time. It's a 2.
So, limited. You have a bit of a chat with the shopkeeper. You learn her name is Beryl Filigree.
Ooh.
And she sort of indicates the various items she has for sale. There are 2 large horizontal cases with various pieces of jewellery within. There is one larger case in the centre of the room, which contains a large emerald. These are all glass cases. There is also a tall item under a canvas blanket in the corner of the shop. She's a bit vague about what it is, but she says, "Oh, it's some security that didn't really work out."
Fun.
And
fucking robot.
That is the limited information you glean.
Excellent.
So you take that information to Chef Meg
Leakfield.
Meg Leakfield, yeah.
When he, sorry, I don't know if you said this already, Tove, so I don't know if it's going to be a new question or just reiterating something. When the gnome closes the shutters and closes the door, is that closing the shutters with a normal padlock, with locking the door with a normal key, or is that a keypad or a card?
I did roll a 6.
Looks like perfectly mundane padlocks on the shutters, and then, as far as you can tell, an ordinary key locking the door.
Then they go out the back, so they're either leaving out the back or they live out the back.
Yeah, I would say you notice that they live above the shop. You can tell that lights go on upstairs after the shop is closed.
There must be some back stairs in the back of the shop, so they go up to an apartment.
Have we considered seducing the gnome?
Another line for the trailer.
With Randall's limited information from her, he cannot decide who she might be more interested in. A bugbear, a centaur, a tiefling, or a drug-addled human.
Well, I think we all know.
No, we don't.
I have 2 in sway.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter how much of a sway you have if they're gay or, whatever else. I can't remember what you said the gender of the gnome.
She,
yeah.
That's what I thought. I was going to say it doesn't matter how much sway you've got if she's a lesbian.
What? Tay's a girl!
Oh, sorry, I thought you said about Randall.
Oh, no.
We're in computer game rules where everyone will go
Everyone
for
is bisexual, yeah.
Or pansexual, really.
Omnisexual.
I mean, yeah, we're also talking about different species, right? What a weird world.
Maybe a gnome would not be interested in a centaur for logistical reasons beyond. Moving swiftly on.
Is it gathering information to find out if the chef can actually do this, or is that better if that's a flashback?
What do you want her to do?
Make some spun sugar replicas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you could ask her to do that. That would be fine. I love being a game master.
Yeah,
Like sugar art, right?
yeah, like Sugar Emerald,
Yeah.
to replace...
We're not saying a bake-off fucking triumph thing at the end with like a multi-tiered sponge emerald.
I feel like I want to be pedantic and say you acquired her as a physician. You cannot ask her to do cooking, because then I have to work out what tier her cookery is.
That's fine.
Well, tell you what, we're going in with the vague idea that we're going to use some replicas. Perhaps it's a flashback to work
don't
out
worry
exactly.
about it.
We'll cross that bridge when it comes up.
How about new plan?
You might not get that
Don't worry
far.
about it.
Yeah, but then you have to take stress on a flashback.
I've got stress for
Yeah,
days, mate.
yeah. Bambi and I are very clear. We're going to go through this entire game with you two taking all the stress and harm, and we're just going to be cruising for a bruising.
Okay, that's right. Are we going with the seduction plan?
I think so. I think that makes the most sense. That's our way in, literally.
Fuck it, let's do it. Social...
Yeah, well, one of them is seducing. I'll sneak in.
Yeah.
And
Is there any
hide
other
under a counter
information-
or something.
Any other gather information actions from anyone?
I think we've got everything we need. Can't imagine anything else we've missed.
Whereabouts on the street is the jewelry store? Is it detached, semi-detached? Is it got
It's
things
on
on
the
both
high
sides?
street. It is
So it's terraced.
terraced, yes. On
Excellent.
a busy shopping arcade in North
What's behind it?
A canal.
Like Venice.
Yes.
A canal through the Undercity.
Other canals are available.
I can't imagine that canal smells good.
No, smells bad.
Okay.
Do you take...
Smells like refuse from hagfish canneries.
What happened if you
Just
were
go-
to swim in the canal?
Wouldn't be good for you.
What shops are either side?
I should be making you roll for this, but
I can prowl about or survey or
no, I guess just to know what shop is next door, you could just look and you would just know. So to the left of the jewellery store
Is that north or
is
south or east?
It's kind of southeast because it's not built on a grid, the Undercity. It is sprung up naturally, so it's a bit all over the place. So to the southeast of the jewellery store, you would find a...
Can we just say left and right? It's so much easier. On the left.
Left is a drapery. On the right is a dressmaker.
Ooh! Tay wants a dress. Take her in and get a dress.
Downtime, mate. This is uptime now.
Uptime gang.
now.
Come back next session, and we'll think about getting you a dress.
Long-term project.
Long-term project to make a big dress for a centaur.
It's just got an enormous bustle.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Engagement role. The plan is social. The social connection is Beryl Filigree. Who is doing the seducing?
Well,
Do you all just want to all try and see who she goes for?
Gecko does not want to try.
Tay is definitely down.
Gonna
for
put her
that.
hat in the ring.
Yeah, her tweed cap. Am I any good at seducing? What were we thinking? Sway?
Sway or consort?
It isn't an action roll, the engagement roll. The engagement roll sets up how bad the first action roll is going to be.
Oh. Cool. Fuck it. Let's go.
Oh, so perhaps we do the engagement roll, and based on that, that's who's doing the seducing.
Okay,
That
yeah.
seems
Yes.
fair. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
idea.
Right, so major advantages, disadvantages. You start off with 1 dice for pure luck. Is this particularly bold or daring? Yep, +1. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
We didn't really learn anything about them.
About her specifically.
But
Okay.
she would be a weakness of the establishment.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, the whole point is
person
she's
who
a weak.
lives there.
She is a weakness.
She's our in.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the person who controls the security, we are going to expose the weakness of the security by seducing.
I feel like you can't just say whatever you're in is the weakness.
Well, that's why we decided it.
Yeah.
We decided it because it was the weakness.
Moving on. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Absolutely not. We don't
Jimmy-
have any of those things.
Jimmy the costume maker.
Isn't Beryl Nanny's best friend? Nine is everyone. No, probably not.
Any other elements you might want to consider? So this is where tier comes into it. The Regency are a tier 2 gang. You are a tier 0 gang. They are better than you.
Allegedly.
You can expect more expensive locks, more expensive security systems than you would perhaps have access to.
That's why we're not picking any locks.
You know what? No, I'll cede that. You're not.
we are-
She isn't a member of the Regency.
Exactly.
She is protected by the Regency, but you're
And
not
we've
going
identified
through.
her as the weakness. We're just going to seduce this clown.
You're getting 2 dice.
Alright.
Engagement roll. It's a 6. It's a critical.
Hey!
Is that good?
You've already overcome the first obstacle, and you're in a controlled position for what's next.
Oh, so we can choose whoever for pure jokes.
Tay opens up the shutters, smoking a cigarette. Come on in, boys.
That's where we are, yeah. So you have opened the door. Thankfully, we have skipped over the challenge of you seducing her.
You'd like just let's skip past that. I don't think Beryl will be with us this evening. She's rather out for the count, so they say.
So, first obstacle was seducing the gnome.
Yep.
You have overcome that. You are
Okay.
now in a controlled position.
Yep.
Tay, you find yourself next to a sleeping gnome.
Mhm.
You are in the flat
won't mention
above the
logistics.
jewellery store. No,
Yep.
I mean, nothing too bad could happen.
Upstairs. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the worst thing that could happen.
Thankfully, this gnomish flat is... it's a bit of a tight squeeze.
Well, not the only thing. Crikey. Okay.
So you're upstairs in a, unfortunately, gnomish-sized flat. You're having to crick your neck a little bit. What's the plan from here?
Yeah, I think Tay's just gonna go crack open a window to smoke a cigarette, and then the stench of the canal's gonna waft in, and she's gonna go, oh gosh, and she's gonna use that as an excuse to go downstairs, so that if her beau catches her, or her belle catches her, that she'll say she was just looking for some fresh air.
Okay, so we're downstairs in a darkened jewellery store.
Do centaurs have night vision?
No. Did you take the key from her before coming down here?
Flashback.
I don't
No, I
think
think this
did.
is where the controlled situation comes from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
she's
think- I mean,
asleep, so it's a
I
control.
think-
It can only
yeah,
go so wrong.
Yeah, I think it's controlled. I think I also sort of, after doing the do, we had some, devil's lettuce or whatever, and she's asleep for the count. I feel like she's out of it.
So is your
So
next
I
action to search for the key?
Well, no, I think I've set everything up, and I just want to properly investigate the place and see whether I can see what's going on down here.
Okay, but Tove's asked you 3 times now whether you took the key, and you can just say yes. Just say yes.
I took the key. Fine. It's going to come back to bite me.
Okay, so we're looking to survey the shop in the dark. Is that the plan?
I mean, it's not completely dark because obviously I've got the light of the cigarette and.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it looks like a jewellery store. There are, as I've described previously, there's necklaces, amulets, rings in these long cases. There's a large emerald in a large case, and there's something under the tarpaulin in the corner.
Cool. I have a look at what's under the tarpaulin.
Under the tarpaulin is something you personally are actually acquainted with. It is one of Thaddeus Slag and Cinder's automated soldiers, but it is not currently active, as far as you can tell. It's dormant and silent.
Yeah. I open the door.
Using the key that you took earlier.
Good thing you got that key.
Okay, yeah, the door opens and people are admitted.
Randall stays outside.
Righto.
Welcome. I've done my part of this whole charade so far. So good. I reckon you guys come in, hide, take your place, and hide. Perhaps we could get rid of that robot, and we could position you, Kuza, under the tarpaulin in the corner. No one would seek to move it, and you could be still as anything all day.
I mean, if we've just walked in, it's dark, she's asleep upstairs, and we've got someone on the outside to can we just start just picking stuff up and just giving it to Randall outside? Like, why are we hiding people?
And replace it with all of
With the sugar,
spun sugar and cabbages.
But wait, how do we have all of this stuff?
With the load that we all definitely decided what we were having.
Oh yeah, everyone pick your load quickly.
I'm going light.
I'm
yes,
going
I was
light.
about to
for
say,
me.
Tay, you have to go light, otherwise it would be harder to prove that you're not trying to rob her as you seduce her.
I'll go normal.
I think I'll go light. So more room to fit the things in my empty bag.
Randall, did you say light or?
Yep, always light, forever light.
Okay. What is happening on screen now? We've poured into the shop. Are we hiding or are we just robbing the place now?
I just don't see why we need to hide. Like, we're in. There's no security. She's asleep. It's dark. I don't know why we don't just start taking stuff.
Well, we need to make the swap at the last possible moment, because if she has customers in the morning and they ask to look at something, they'll know it's a fake.
Because it'll be sponge.
Because spun sugar.
Sponge. Is that what you said? You never said sponge. You only said
I
sponge
like how
sugar.
we're having this discussion now. In the
Wait, just to be clear, I thought you said sponge. That's why I thought it was such a bad idea.
Spun sugar like this.
Well, I see.
Flashback.
Take 2 stress.
You want me to make what?
My master, as you may know, is a man of unusual tastes. He's planning a bit of a do and wants to wow the guests. And he wants each of the guests to have their own personalised bit of spun sugar jewellery. I've got some specifications.
I'm with you.
And, it's a bit of a rush job, so if we could get it done by tonight.
Tonight, okay,
What does Meg think of her relationship with Q's at this point? Because it's...
mine is fucking boggled. She probably thinks he's, like, just making excuses to talk to her at this point. I mean,
Q's is...
Oh yeah, at some point, Kuz is going to be forced to propose because it's the only way to explain.
take 1 stress.
Tove, actually, could you mark down 4 stress just as yourself as the game?
I'm marking my own stress, don't worry. It's filling up. I think you should roll consort for this, just to see how much effort she puts into
I
this.
bet Kuz is great at consort.
I demand that you make...
Wait, you're going to command instead of...
I've got 1 dot in command, but
Yeah,
no
but
dots
you
in
do, that
consort.
might ruin your relationship. You can't
Yeah,
just
I think
intimidate
if you
the poor
command
lady.
her, she's not going to be happy to do more doctoring, but you might want that, to be honest.
That's not the worst thing.
What I want is spun sugar jewellery, and I'm happy to burn any bridge.
Yeah,
Tell me what you're doing, and we'll go with that.
get it done.
Ralph, could I just interrupt at this point? Could we maybe consider this being a desperate action? Because if this doesn't go well...
It feels somewhat desperate.
If this doesn't go well, the rest of the plan might also not go that well.
Okay, we're going to say this is desperate. However,
So that means I mark a point in resolve, yes?
Yep. However, the effect will be great because there is potential here for some very good sugar jewellery.
I'm going to roll 1 dice.
Wait, hang on. It's desperate, isn't it? Do you not get an extra dice?
No, you push yourself for a bonus die.
I might push myself.
That's what
That'll
I
be
was...
an extra stress.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
worth it.
I'm 2 off trauma. I'm fine.
The bloodshot is starting to creep into Kuz's eyes. He's starting to get the jitters a little bit here.
No. That's rot. It's rot from his wound that's got
Why
flour
does
on it.
mine say push yourself is take 2 stress?
Yeah,
Oh.
you do, yeah.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
So I'm 1 off trauma. and I got a 2.
Oh, come on! I don't like playing games with you. I like playing games against you. This is so much more fun when you're the GM than when you're a player just watching your great plans crash and burn.
Well, next time, Tay, you can get your own fucking spun sugar jewellery, alright?
Which he says as he pulls out just like these crumbling bits of marzipan.
Maybe it was quite good, but she didn't put it in a case or anything.
This is just
been
melted
loose
sugar.
in my bag.
It's actually some proper works of art, but Kuza's just sort of shoved them into a sack, and then it just comes out, and there's just crumbled shards.
It's not good. The sugar jewellery is not very good.
I think we better pivot our plan.
Well, look,
Cabbages.
next door is a dress shop, right?
Right.
They've got to have some kind of decorations or something.
We're going to break in next door.
Yeah, like curtain rings and buttons.
I'm sorry, I failed to see quite where you're going with this. Please fill me in. Do it quickly and quietly.
Quickly, quietly, and discreetly break into the dress shop.
Yes, I understand what you're suggesting. I just don't understand why.
Assemble the nicest bits of trim and whatnot.
You're asking, you expect us to break into a dress shop to make some fake jewellery?
Don't see anyone else coming up with any other solution.
I say we hide, as was our first plan before the sugar sperm plan even existed, and at some point during the day, we'll be able to lift out. And maybe in the commotion, maybe I can be there to delay the folks when they start, and we can take the things first. In the midst of the melee.
Can we pre-open the cases so that we're ready to...
So while Tay and Kuza are fucking whispering, arguing about how they're going to rectify this plan, Gecko is just going along cracking the locks on each of the jewellery cases.
Yep.
Give me some kind of action. What do we see? What do we see Gecko doing?
She's just kind of watching them and then kind of sidling up to things and just being like, okay, I don't know what the decision's going to be here, but let's just sort that out. Trying to finesse it, I wager.
Oh, I'll take finesse, yeah.
Let's have a go.
Perhaps using your fine lockpicks, I would say that this is going to be you're in a risky position in that you're breaking into something, and the effect will be standard in that you will achieve what you want.
Okay. That's a 4 and a 1, so 4.
4. So mixed success. The cases do pop open. However, I think we're going to see ramifications of this in the future in that it's obvious they've been cracked open without using their key, so I think it's going to be 2 heat.
Okay.
Okay, so the cases are open. The argument is ongoing? Question mark?
Well, I just don't understand why you thought the sugar spun thing would work, and if we're at this point, I figured we could come out.
What's Randall doing while they're arguing?
Standing outside.
Oh yeah.
Why just have you and Gecko hide, as was my first plan, and during the midst of the melee and the fighting, and ooh.
The fighting.
Bet you didn't expect that because blood fist in this robbery, did you?
Ah!
Randall, leaving a little crack in the door to listen in, pokes his head in and says, "And you could hide upstairs in plain sight, right?"
Yeah, that was the plan, yes.
So lock the door from the inside. You two stay here. I'll head off and see you tomorrow.
And you'll help me in creating some sort of distraction when the time comes. Gecko and Kuza steal the goods and get out of there, and we'll just litter away.
Of course. I'll just pretend like I'm coming back to have another look at one of the items I looked at before. What time was it supposed to be? It seems to have slipped my mind.
Well, it's just here in the daytime, so we don't know when. I think you'll have to wait.
Sit and have a coffee in the shop opposite.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Yeah, what's opposite the shop?
Oh, fortunately, there's a coffee shop, which is
What's the coffee shop called?
Dark Potions.
I do like their brew.
Tay, you hear a chiming of a clock coming from upstairs, and you realise that a Regency goon patrol of the area is imminent.
Oh, shit. I think that there's going to be some goons about this parts pretty soon, so let's go to... I'll shut the shutters. Randall, you do your thing.
We haven't opened the
shutters.
shutters.
Anyway. Oh, yeah, I'll shut all that, and Randall can go, and I will ascend the staircase with a clip and a clop.
So, Tay, you've made your way upstairs, and you are creeping into a really, really small bed.
Mm-hmm.
Downstairs, I think we are going to need some kind of a stealth roll to see how your hiding goes.
Now, would you say that this is hiding in a prepared position or using camouflage?
Prepared position. Yeah.
I've got time to nest myself in.
I think so.
You know, there's
I
no
think
one around
underneath-
to actively hide from at
Underneath the
moment.
canvas.
There is a robot under the canvas, though.
It doesn't have to be.
You fucking throw it into the canal.
Randall can take it home.
No, Randall's gone.
I still like the idea of hiding underneath one of the cabinets and nicking stuff from underneath. Getting through there.
Or like a little perfect circle and...
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You've already unlocked them, though.
Yeah, that's... Okay, fine. I'll be in the...
You can be under the cabinets if you want. You can hide wherever you want. Tell me where you're hiding.
I'm hiding underneath a cabinet.
Okay, and Gecko?
I mean, I'll hide in a cabinet unless there's anywhere that's... And are they solid cases that go with the floor? Have they got legs? Have they got cloths?
Legs with cloth over. Let's roll about it. Are we taking group action? A group hide? Prowl. Prowl is the word I'm looking for.
I suppose it might make more sense because if they find one of us, they're going to probably look for others. So if one of us doesn't do well at this, it's going to affect everyone.
Ralph.
Shall I lead a prowl?
Yeah, so I roll 2 dice because I've got 1 dot in prowl and I get an extra dice for hiding in a prepared position.
Okay, yep.
So are you leading the group action?
No, I'm not because I don't want to take more stress.
Right, okay, so shall I lead the group action?
Yes.
How very metagamey of you, Ralph.
No, I think that is the crux of Blades in the Dark, trying to balance bad things happening to you.
I rolled a 5 and a 6, bitches.
I rolled a 5 and a 6, bitches.
Way!
Ooh.
So I took a stress for leading a group action, right?
Good question. I think you only take stress if there are failures in the group, so I think you're fine.
Yeah, you take a stress for each failure, I think.
Great.
Yeah. And because both of you passed, you both successfully hide. Your muscles start to ache a little bit as dawn comes, but as you start to hear the hustle and bustle of the street outside, you know that you have successfully stayed secreted over the course of the night. Upstairs, Tay, you are awoken by Beryl, sort of drawing circles on your face, saying, "Hey, last night was logistically really interesting and I had fun. I have to go to work. Can you, do you want to leave or..."
Well, I'm honestly not feeling too well. I thought I might I've got a bit of a headache coming over. I think you obviously tired me out last night, and I think maybe...
With all the logistics, yeah.
With all the logistics and just the planning. The fact that we had to sit down and plan it for so long just kind of took it out of me, and I was thinking maybe I could just lie in bed a while. I'm sorry. I don't mean to inconvenience you. I'm more than happy to just lie here while you go about your... What is it you say you do?
I run a jewellery shop, so I can't really leave you, up here because of security, you know? The Regency, I have to pay them protection, and if they found out I had someone just up here, that would kind of be bad.
Yeah, I'm sure a centaur with a migraine was really top of your security concerns. I mean no harm to anyone. I'm just gonna lie here a while and take a nap. Don't you worry about me. And I'm gonna roll sway.
Yes. Would you like to push yourself or anything like that?
I didn't.
And your arms are in the air, and you got a 6. Yeah, she sort of bites her lip and like looks over her shoulder and begrudgingly says, "Yeah, okay, just
And I put an eye mask on and lie back down.
Oh, okay. And you hear her, as you're obviously wide awake, you hear her sort of putting clothes on and heading downstairs, and you can hear locks sliding backwards and forwards. And the folks downstairs can hear the shop opening up around them. And Randall, if you're all across the streets.
It's quite early, isn't it?
And Randall's probably not there yet.
You don't see the shop opening from the outside.
Randall will get up in a bit when he's ready.
It'll be like
Randall is
10
in a
o'clock,
heroin
11
coma right now.
yeah, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. That sort of time, I think.
Oh shit, the heist!
Does anyone want to do anything before Randall arrives to watch from outside, sort of morning time?
I'd like to tick off some load. I wonder if this would count as burglary gear, but I would like to start making some cuts in the wood of the base of the cases.
Okay.
So that they can be quickly sort of dumped out underneath and gathered from my hiding place.
You want to cut through a table?
Yeah, with like a little saw or something.
With a
Burglary
Cut
tools.
through a table to access
Silently.
cases
Silently.
that are open.
Yeah, all right.
No, you can do it. You can do it. It's going to be fucking desperate and limited effect, but you can give it a go.
So you'll probably get a stress.
Oh, I think something worse than stress might happen.
I'll just hide under the table.
Oh, I feel bad for telling you can't do something.
I'll just sit down and shut up.
I'll be quiet.
So, Randall, you show up at the...
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you roll out of bed around noon.
Really hungover.
You stroll down to Dark Potions and you
Order a triple espresso.
order a triple espresso. You
And
notice...
gaze at the smoking crater of the jewellery store.
The whole heist is a flashback.
Sitting at tables at the coffee shop are 4 half-orcs and a green dragonborn. They are all wearing tracksuits, and you could say that their load might be heavy, as you can plainly see that they are scoundrels up to no good. They are currently drinking coffee in the coffee shop, but they are being boisterous, they are being loud. You're not sure you could get a table here because they are just spreading out. They've got their feet up on the chairs. The staff are overwhelmed trying to ask them to leave, but they're not going anywhere.
Sorry, how many? Let's take up that. It's just a small coffee shop.
4 half-orcs and a green dragonborn.
And there's no way you can get a table.
It's a small coffee shop.
Okay, fine.
Randall walks up to the most pathetic looking orc and says, "Come on now, room for us all. Move your legs."
The other thugs all sit up and go, "Ooh! Oh, Porky, you gonna take that? You all wouldn't take that if I were you, Porky." The green dragonborn has a disgusting cough, and he says, "Oh yeah, I wouldn't. You might as well hang up your tracksuit if you take that from him, mate." Porky stands up and sort of squares up to you and says, "Why don't you fuck off, mate?"
Porky must be protected at all costs.
Don't hurt Porky. I need to hear Porky. Should we adopt Porky? He's so pathetic. Maybe he will hang up his tracksuit and then he can come work for us.
And we can keep him as a pet.
Yeah, and Tove could just keep doing that voice all the time.
He stood up.
He stood up, yes.
Sit down. Thank you kindly.
You want to roll command, perhaps?
6.
I was making a progress clock called Porky's Patience, but I think you've decimated that as he sort of looks a little sheepish and and sort of just goes to stand at a table where his gang members are, and they all give him shit for that. So, oh, Porky! Oh, and they're like drumming on the tables and like shaking their fists at him. But you now have a position in the coffee shop to observe.
You now have a seat.
Yeah, you have a seat.
You got all that for a seat.
That was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it worked.
These are the things that really matter to Randall. Just
He wasn't going to fucking stand, was he?
yeah, exactly.
The Green Dragonborn says, "Ugh, well, I suppose now's as good a time as any." And they all stand up, and he jerks his head towards the jewellery store and begins to walk towards it, each of them drawing some kind of blunt instrument from about their persons, making their way towards the store. So, Randall, you see this. Tay, are you still in bed?
Yes, I think I probably am. Although, to be fair, I think as soon as the gnome's gone downstairs, I think I'm sort of prepping for the battle, as it were. So I'm going to assume the gnome's not going to come back up.
She didn't actually have a migraine, right? That was a ruse. You've
does
not
have
actually gone to sleep.
Yeah. Funny jokes. She's ready. She's ready to gallop down these stairs and break a leg and be put out of her misery.
So over to you guys. They're coming.
We don't have a plan.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't have a plan. Think of a plan? We've got nothing,
Yeah, I mean,
Tove.
if only someone had set up some kind of signal previously.
Why don't you flash back to them, Susan?
Flashback!
Thank you!
Well, surely it should be Randall doing the flashback.
Yeah, should be, I agree!
Oh. Yeah, Randall flashes back to obviously the night before and says, so which one is the bedroom? I'll throw stones at the window.
Because
Jesus Christ!
Tay knowing which that they're coming is definitely the most prudent information.
Yeah, you're going to walk across the street behind the thugs and throw rocks at the fucking window. And that tells me, how am I then going to... I then have to flash back to figure out what...
The signal is clink, clink, smash!
Sorry, what is the signal that you want? I was a bit phased out. We're flashing back. You can tell me in the flashback what I'm supposed to do.
No,
Right, Randall.
telling me, dear Randall, what I would appreciate being your first thought. You need to be telling Kuza and Gecko what they need to be doing. That's kind of the whole point of this exercise. So you need to think of some way to alert people. Maybe just by starting a commotion or yelling, or yelling, oh, the thugs are coming, or whatever.
I think Brandon needs to get in before the thugs, right? Like he needs to know that they're there and are going to be there and are going to be coming in soon, but get the attention of the jewelry store keeper so that we can quickly swipe stuff before the thugs come in.
I agree. I think that makes a lot more sense. So why don't you get ahead of the game, Randall, and try to beat the thugs into the jewelry store?
Okay, Randall, 1 stress for the flashback.
Yeah.
And because that would have been helpful to know before they started to move before, I'm going to say that the Green Dragonborn stops in the middle of the street and sort of goes, I've got to tie my shoelaces, mate, so hang on a second. And he bends down, giving you a split second to pass them in the street.
With your great speed.
Randall saunters past.
What does Porky say?
Oh, well, I'm not the one having to tie my shoelaces, am I?
Alright, fucking tight shoelaces over here. Oh, I've got my shoelaces tied.
You don't even wear shoes with shoelaces on!
Oh, fucking melt.
Someone's fucking straight-laced.
And they just devolve into that, and Randall saunters past.
We should have been defunct.
We should have been defunct.
The shop door opens, revealing Randall. Behind the counter, Randall, you see Beryl, she says, "Oh, hello. I saw you yesterday, didn't I? Come in. Can I interest you in anything?"
Yes, there was this emerald that was truly fascinating. I had to see it again. But really, actually, I think you've got some trouble outside. You might want to check out pretty soon.
She scurries over.
Is that the code word?
I think it's got to be.
I don't think it's a code word. I think Randall's got her outside.
Or is attempting to.
She comes to the front window and, oh dear. Oh, I have to call the Regency. She locks the door of the jewellery shop.
Nice.
Flips the sign around to closed and runs back into the workshop behind the counter. And then she comes back out of the workshop and says, "Wait here, please, sir. You'll be safer in here, I think." And she jogs into the workshop.
Nice.
Signal.
I mean, Gecko's hand kind of comes
reaches
out from underneath.
the
Yeah.
counter.
So you are stuffing your pockets with jewellery from the now open cases, correct?
From the now open cases.
I also think it might not be a bad shout to smash the window or break down the door.
I feel like they're going to do that
I
themselves.
feel like they're going to do that.
Oh, okay.
They don't know that we've stolen it.
No, that's true.
Well, the question is, how are we going to get out?
That is definitely
Dive out the window into the canal.
Right.
Good luck, horse.
Of course there's going to swim.
Maybe you can flash back to have a boat waiting.
I flash back and I've got
Later,
a boat
do it
waiting.
later.
Okay. No, because I will land in a boat. I might break my legs.
It's better for you to land in the canal.
We talked about this as one of my Achilles feet.
Are you guys looking at what you are stuffing into your swag bags, or are you just...
How could we look at everything in the store?
I'm just trying to
Stuffing everything
understand.
in the store into our bags.
Yeah, I'm just mentally understanding. Are you hiding under the tables while you're doing this, or are you out now?
I
stuffing
think
stuff?
we're... the windows are still open, right? So they
No, they've
can
got
see
shutters.
into the
Oh,
store.
They
no.
don't have shutters.
No, yeah.
The shutters would be open at this
Open
point.
this point, yeah.
Yeah, so they can see.
So I guess trying to sort of keep low and go along the sides to try and be
discreet.
as discreet as possible and just sort of open it a bit, stick hand in, grab stuff, put it in bag. So not really looking at what we're taking.
Yeah, I think that's
well, not looking at what I'm taking anyway.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Randall will go stand between the back room and the front room just in case the gnome comes back.
Right, yep. Okay, so you're behind the counter. You two are stealthily grabbing stuff. Yep, so you just sweep stuff into your bag. Yeah, like putting your forearm on the table, then running along, putting it into bags.
That's the
like that.
vibe.
That sounds good to me. Shall we roll a prowl, perhaps, to see if the thugs see you doing that?
Okay.
I mean, we are specifically trying to not be seen.
Yeah. Or do you want to make a group action of it again?
Or maybe it's finesse. Finesse and items from someone's pocket employ subtle misdirection or sleight of hand.
It is kind of sleight of handy.
Yeah, I reckon it's finesse. Is that good for you guys?
I think
Finesse is fine for me.
specifically though, I've got very big hands. I'm really more trying not to be seen. That's really more what I'm doing.
Well, I think finesse makes more sense.
I'll finesse it.
Do you want to lead a finesse action?
I'll lead a
group
finesse.
action.
I'll lead a finesse group action.
Which is a
I'll
really
take
funny
Ralph's-
thing to imagine.
I'll take the stress from Ralph's shit roll.
From Ralph rolling 2 and taking the lowest.
You got nothing in finesse? Oh no.
Nope.
Got a 1.
It's a
We've
1.
got a failure from Ralph, so that's 1 stress for Gecko.
My highest is a 3.
That's a 3. That is also a failure. So I am going to say...
Oh! I tell you what I
Ooh,
can do. What I can do is use my
Use an item.
use my shadow special ability to resist a consequence from detection or security measures.
Nice.
Okay, so the consequence would have been that the thugs spotted you. That doesn't happen. They come up to the window and start, one of them tries the door. The others start looking through the glass, shading it with their hands, trying to look in. I don't know why they'd do that, because it's dark in the Undercity and it'd be brighter inside the shop than outside, but they do it anyway.
They're not smart.
It's all about the look of the thing.
Gecko, you at the last moment grab Kuza and drag him down under a table before they see.
Maybe their attention is more drawn by Randall than by what we're doing.
Oi, Porky, that's your mate in there, isn't it? Oh, that's what I reckon is your friend. Looks like we got someone else to beat up. You're going to get your revenge, Porky.
Please call me Porky Tightlace.
You're not the DM anymore.
So you're still upstairs, Tay. Are you doing
Yep.
anything up there?
Yes, but I don't need to reveal it at this time.
Excellent. Okay, so downstairs, you watch in horror as the thugs stand back. One of them sort of says, "All right, lads, I'm going to take it out just with my head." And they all sort of cheer at that, and they make a sort of a corridor leading up to the glass window as one of the bigger
fucking
orcs.
Helm's Deep.
Yep. He gets back, stands in the middle of the road, goes, "Right, watch this!" And he sprints full speed at the glass of the shop. And he collides with it and bounces off, and everyone cheers. What are you lot doing?
Flashback. I flashback.
Yep.
And so this is even further back, right, to when we're thinking about what we're going to do when we get there. What we're going to do when shit goes wrong. And Tay goes, "Well, I mean, I will have had time to salvage a plan upstairs, so I think that whenever you feel like your presence is threatened downstairs and you've managed to get the most of the loot, I say just run upstairs and join me. So you guys all know that you can run upstairs."
In plain sight of the thugs.
Well, that must be the problem at this point. What are you going to do? You're going to wait there and be captured along with the thugs, or are you going to get out of Dodge?
I can help you there in that if you were underneath the cabinets, you would have easy access to sort of be behind the counter and then to make it into the workshop pretty much for free.
But that's where Beryl is.
Yes, it's a challenge to overcome.
Well, you got to get out there, right? So I don't think you can stay where you are, right?
So Randall's going to go to the back, and
Yep.
he's gonna say, "Excuse me, they're trying to bash their way through," and he's going to keep moving as he says it. Like, is there possibly another exit that one could take? You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to be caught in the shop. If you could just let me out the back, and I'll let you get on with it. And trying to draw her gaze towards away from the stairs and the door.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she has some kind of magical device in her hand which has a handle on it, like a grindstone, like a hand-driven like millstone, that she's cranking. Describing it like a millstone, what I'm actually imagining is like a World War I siren that she is twisting. And she's saying, the back of the shop backs onto the canal. Can you swim? Sort of nervous laughter.
Yes, of course. It's no problem.
Top of the stairs, I suppose. I'll see you soon.
And does that buy enough time away from the stairs?
It's a little narrow in the workshop, I think.
Kiss her.
Anything of interest, actually, looking around, just quickly, anything of interest that Randall could be like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And then just...
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of half-finished piece in the back that you can draw.
I can do so. So walks out to the right and says, "Oh, hang on, this isn't what I think it is it?"
And she stops cranking the siren to wipe the sweat off her forehead and sort of says, "What do you think it is?"
"This is absolutely delectable. I mean, my family have been collecting these for generations. How much is it? I mean, I wouldn't be able to leave without, you know."
And the thought of making a little bit of money out of this sort of perks her interest. You want to give me maybe a consort or something along those lines to keep her rapt attention?
Yeah, I think it's... Well, I mean, it's all the same.
And our Gecko and Kuz are sidling up the stairs while this is happening. Fuck's sake, Bambi, wow.
Was that a 6?
Yep.
It was, yeah.
God. You all saw how much stress Ralph took in the last session. You were like, "I'm not having that."
And in this session.
She bends over the she bends over the workshop table and describes in detail the history of this piece that your attention has been drawn by, giving Kuza and Gecko time to
Get upstairs.
Before Kuza goes into the workshop, I'd like to just look around for something that isn't a valuable that we're robbing, that's like a good sort of hand-sized, decent-sized bit of something. The till. I don't know.
There is an old iron propping open the door to the workshop on the floor.
Grand. So on my way through, I would like to grab that and chuck it at the robot.
You do it.
Activate it.
You hear a roar of mechanical gears and clockwork spin into action.
Yes, Ralph.
Randall, you hear the robot roar into life. You hear glass shattering. Beryl spins around in shock and says, I thought I deactivated that! And she runs into the shop, still cranking the siren.
Damn. Yes, just send it to...
Randall takes the...
No, Randall just shouts to the front, yes, just send it to this address and I'll be willing to pay this much, and scrolls down his brother's address and just writes an extortionate amount that is expected to be paid. And I assume, that the Regency will expect payment, so it's just, basically.
Is this the rich guy version of just ordering a load of pizzas?
Yeah, and then slinks upstairs. Okay, I'll just go be jumping in the river now, or the canal. Thanks for your service.
And upstairs, Tay, you see your compatriots taking the stairs two at a time. You have an eye mask on your forehead, you have the curlers in.
And I'm holding a harpoon. Which I am about to fire across the canal at one of the buildings on the other side. I've got loads of robes and things from the gnome's wardrobe. We're going to all just fucking... whatever the word is for that. I've forgotten the name of it.
But like a little coat hanger and a...
Oh, zipline!
Yeah. Zipline. We're all going to zipline across it and then we're going to cut the rope.
Amazing.
Where'd you get the harpoon
Logistics?
Don't worry about it.
Well, you haven't marked any items yet, so that could be your fine heavy weapon, right?
Yep. Fucking harpoon, bro.
It wasn't at all suspicious when you came into the shop with a harpoon. On your date.
And you zipline to safety. And that's where we'll end it tonight.
My God.
It's the sound that Tay makes as she ziplines.
Thanks for listening to Of Dice and Them. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a review on your favourite podcasting platform and subscribe to be notified as soon as new episodes drop. In the meantime, give us a follow at Of Dice and Them on social media, where you can also find out how to follow our cast. And we'll see you next time.
The heat is gone.
Do you ever feel like you're left out sometimes, Toe?
That's the only time it's ever felt like that for me. It's strange.
You're naturally very popular and the in crowd at all times.
I mean, how else would I have risen to the position of Game Master?
Wait.
Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we're merely role players. Now playing in the main house, Vigil.
It's true. My department has abandoned this town and left you to fend for yourselves against your worst nightmares. But I promise I'm not going anywhere, and I'm asking you to join me. Your neighbours never need to wake up and remember their nightmares, because we'll be there, keeping watch.
Vigil, a Merely Role Players production. Search for Merely Role Players wherever you find podcasts. Maximum drama guaranteed.